A U.S. Supreme Court decision that could impact juveniles behind bars. The ruling that teenagers cannot be sentenced to life in prison without a chance of parole was issued today, while our News Channel 5 legal expert Michelle Suskauer was there. News Channel 5's Angela Sacitano spoke with Michelle, and Angela, obviously this decision is going to have some major ramifications.
Yes, Jim, the Supreme Court of the United States has ruled juveniles may not be locked up for life without the chance of parole in cases that, and remember this, don't involve murder. Several high-profile murder sentences may be affected, including the sentences of two men sitting behind bars for life for raping a woman in Dunbar Village.
By a 5-4 vote today, the court ruled young people serving life sentences must be at least considered for parole. The ruling was based on the Florida case of Terrence Graham in prison for life for a series of armed robberies he committed as a teenager. Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy wrote in his majority opinion, quote, "The state has denied him any chance to later demonstrate that he is fit to rejoin society, based solely on a non-homicide crime that he committed when he was a child." Kennedy goes on to say this the Eighth Amendment does not permit. WPTV's own legal analyst, Michelle Suskauer, was in the courtroom today when the ruling was read.
What Justice Kennedy really said is that these life sentences violate the Eighth Amendment's prohibition against cruel and unusual punishment. It doesn't give a juvenile an opportunity to show any sort of rehabilitation.
State Attorney Michael McCullough says his office will identify which cases will be affected by today's decision and take appropriate steps to address those cases.
It does not mean that juveniles who commit violent crimes are going to get a pass.
Locally, there are 8 cases of juveniles sentenced to life without the chance of parole. Most recently, Dunbar Village rapist Nathan Walker and Jacaris Taylor. There was also the case of Milagro Cunningham, who raped an 8-year-old Lake Worth girl and then buried her alive in a trash can.
It just merely means that at some point in that person's period of imprisonment, what would be a life sentence, he has to have some meaningful opportunity to seek release. And it could be 20 years, 30 years from now.
Suskauer says the ruling is monumental and will force attorneys to be more creative when sentencing juveniles.
You know, certainly if you have been victimized, you want to, throw away the key and lock people up forever. But you know what? We have a certain amount of spaces in our jails. We can't lock everyone up.
Whatever happens, it certainly is going to be busy in Florida. The Sunshine State leads the country with the number of juveniles serving life sentences for crimes other than murder. Angela Sacitano, WPTV News Channel 5.